Gamer here, and, well, you saw the title of the video, we're going to be doing the test run. So I did preemptively try Clorinde's test run before I started recording, and that's because I wanted to get a feel for her gameplay and to explain to you guys how she works, and I think I got her gist. I think I got the gist of her gameplay, so, well, let's just try her out. Of course, I'm not going to be trying out just Clorinde. We're going to be trying out Sethos as well because he's pretty new. So we're going to be trying out both characters. I'm going to be giving my honest opinion and review of the characters. So yeah. Well, anyways, here is Clorinde gameplay. Looks like they gave her the overload team. Pretty cool. Well, we could just do Chevras, and let's just set up right here. We can't do her elemental skill. As you see here, look at that. She attacks pretty fast. And as soon as you think it'll run out, press E. There we go. It cancels out. And that's pretty cool. As you see here, her normals are actually pretty fast as well. Make sure you take advantage of that. Alright, let's do her burst right here. Bam! And that does so much damage. Let's do E. It looks like you'd spam E, which is pretty cool. If you do have her stance up. Alright, let's do elemental skill. Let's get Toma. Oh, I don't think he's gonna get his burst back though. Alright. And then let's take down this Ruin Guard. Oh, oops. Kablam! There we go. That does so much damage though. Holy crap. I think that's it. There we go! We beat the trial. So let's continue the challenge right here. Alright. So, of course, we're going to be testing out Clorinde here. So, let's do, we're going to see all her animations. Since, I don't have Clorinde, so might as well look at all of them, right? Alright, so here's her, first 5 normal attacks. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Her elemental skill, which does, well, it does this. You can use E as well to teleport. Pretty cool. And then you could do her burst, but we did see her burst already, so that's basically it. That's Clorinde gameplay. And here's a charge attack. There you go. Pretty basic overall. Alright, let's go to the character screen right here. Alright, let's see Clorinde. How did Hoyo verse build her? So let's see here. Crit rate, crit damage. Okay, so they just favored the crit rate. She doesn't have high HP. She has high attack though, so I guess she does do all her damage on attack as well as Bond of Life. So that's pretty cool. Her weapon, Absolution, we already talked about this before. It just gives her a flat 20% crit damage, and every time your Bond of Life increases, you deal 16% more damage, which is pretty cool. It means that she's able to do a ton of damage. As for artifact set, we have Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, which is her best set because her whole mechanic is based off of Bond of Life. So when her Bond of Life increases or decreases, it increases the damage she's dealing by 18% of a max of 3 stacks, which is pretty cool. It means that she's able to do a crap ton of damage. Probably with like a really well invested Clorinde, she's probably gonna hit like 20k per normal attack or 10k per normal attack on like a minimally built Clorinde. So yeah. We could take a look at her talents before we get to her constellations. So I already did talk about her talents before. She just does 5 normal attacks. Her E gives her Electro Infusion, and she also does the Bond of Life mechanic right here, which we already discussed about, which means that when you use her E and you do normal attack, she's able to get Bond of Life, and for each Bond of Life stack, you get more damage. So it's pretty basic. Her Q is just a basic AoE Electro attack, which basically gives her Bond of Life too, which also helps with her E. Her passive talents, we already talked about this. She's able to do a lot of Electro-related reactions and do a lot of Electro damage on normal attacks, which is pretty cool. Her other passive talent just gives her more crit rate per Bond of Life, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, she is pretty good, honestly. And then, of course, her overall passive talent is just she just gets unique Fontaine resources on the mini map, which is pretty cool. So we haven't discussed about the constellations, so this is going to be the first time I'm going to be seeing the constellations. So let's see how broken she is with constellations. Alright, C1. While Hunter's Vigils, so we gotta look at her talents. Okay, that's her E, Hunter's Vigil. Alright. So while Hunter Vigil's Night Vigil state is active, when electro damage from Clorinde's normal attacks hit opponents, they will trigger 2 coordinated attacks from a Night Vigil shade summoned near the hit opponent, dealing 30% of Clorinde's attack as electro damage. This effect can occur once every 1.2 seconds. Damage dealt this way is considered a normal attack. So basically she's able to do 2 consecutive normal attacks, basically 2 coordinated attacks that she's just able to do. Think of it like Raiden E, but her E activates like twice. Yeah, that's basically it. And it looks like it scales off of attack, so probably her best artifact set is probably going to be attack, electro damage, crit rate, crit damage. It's either or. I'm pretty sure the weapon gives crit damage, so you can just go for the crit rate helmet. But if you really want to maximize on crit damage, then go for the crit damage helmet. So yeah, looks like you just the basic build is just attack percent, electro damage, crit rate, crit damage. So yeah, basically your typical DPS. Alright, let's see your Constellation 2. Enhance the passive talent, Dark Shattering Flame. That is this one. Oh, it's the one that basically increases your electro-related reaction damage. Okay. After a nearby party member triggers an electro-related reaction against an opponent, electro damage dealt by Clorinde's normal attacks last night or Lightfall will be increased by 30% of Clorinde's attack for 15 seconds, max of 3 stacks. Each stack is counted independently. When you have 3 stacks, Clorinde's interruption resistance will be increased. The maximum damage increased achievable this way for the above attacks is 2,700. So basically, when you do an electro-related reaction, you basically get increased damage, and if you have a max of 3 stacks, you basically get interruption resistance, which is pretty good. So yeah, you basically don't get hit out of your E, just like Ayato. So yeah, pretty cool. Honestly, if you want to take Clorinde to the next level, I'm pretty sure you should just take this constellation. Looks pretty good. Interruption resistance, you get increased attack on normal attack. Pretty nice. It's a pretty nice constellation to have. Alright, let's see here. So this is C3, increases the level of Hunter's Vigil, which is her E, by 3 levels. Pretty cool. Our Constellation 4, when the last Lightfall deals damage to opponents, damage dealt is increased based on Clorinde's Bond of Life percentage. Every 1% of her current Bond of Life will increase last Lightfall damage by 2%. The maximum last Lightfall damage increases available or achievable this way is 200%. So basically, every time you get Bond of Life, you get more damage. Yeah, that's basically it. A simple effect, but a really good one because you get 200%. Which is pretty busted. And her C5 increases her burst by 3 levels, which is pretty cool as well. And her C6, this is the constellation that basically makes every character broken. Let's see what Clorinde's is. So, for 12 seconds after Hunter's Vigil is used, Clorinde's crit rate will be increased by 10% and her crit damage by 70%. Okay, so that's just a flat boost, which is pretty good. Additionally, while Night Vigil is active, a Grim Bright Shade will appear under specific circumstances, executing an attack that deals 200% of Clorinde's attack as electro damage. Damage dealt this way is considered a normal attack. So she basically just gets an additional attack when you do a normal attack on Hunter's Vigil, which is pretty cool. And Night Vigil, I'm pretty sure that is part of her E's mechanic. So yeah. The Grim Bright Shade will appear under the following circumstances. When Clorinde is about to be hit by an attack, which is probably going to be most of the time in Abyss. When Clorinde uses Impale the Night Pact. I think that's her E. Impale the Night Pact. Yeah, there you go. That's basically her E. Yeah, those are just the 2 circumstances you have to get. Okay. 1 Grim Bright Shade can be summoned in the aforementioned ways every 1 second. 6 shades can be summoned per single Night Vigil duration. In addition, while Night Vigil is active, the damage Clorinde receives is decreased by 80%. Okay, so that means she just doesn't die, and her interruption resistance is increased. Yeah, this means that she just can't die, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think Clorinde could be a solo character in Abyss if you have her C6, which is pretty nice. This effect will disappear after the night vigil state ends, or 1 second after she summons 6 glim bright shades. So yeah, this looks really, really good. Yeah, this looks really good. Like, super, super, super good, honestly. So yeah, that is Clorinde. Looks like a pretty good character. C6 definitely, pretty good. C2 probably for those budget players and also players who just save up for one character. I'm pretty sure she works at C0, so she basically works out of the box. As for weapons, you could probably give her Absolution is obviously her best weapon, but she does have alternatives. You can give her the Harbinger of Dawn, which is a 3-star weapon that works for her. You can give her other Battle Pass weapons as well, like the Wolf Fang. That is pretty good. Or the Black Sword, or Black Cliff Sword from the shop. That also works too. So yeah, there are plenty of options that you can give your Clorinde. So yeah, but Absolution is probably her best weapon. But other than that, I think she is pretty busted, not gonna lie. So yeah, there is Clorinde, pretty cool character right there. And now it's time to move on to the next character we have to showcase, and that is Sethos. So first off, I'm gonna grab these rewards because I have to. Alright, let's get to Sethos. Alright, Sethos time, baby. Sethos. Alright, so Sethos works really, really weirdly. He is a EM character, so he is basically overly reliant on EM to do a lot of damage. Let's see here. So let's do E. Let's do Q. This basically gives us normal attacks on, or it gives us charge attack on normal, which is pretty cool. I mean, look at that. Look at that damage. Super busted damage. By the way, if you switch out of him, you lose the buff, or you lose the application on your normal attacks. So yeah, always keep that in mind. I'm doing E right here. Pretty good damage. Alright. Alright, let's do a... Okay, so he can do a level 2 charge instantly. As long as you basically have the E up, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's pretty fast. But the only problem is I think he can only do it like 5 times, which sucks. Alright, let's do E. And there we go. He is dead. Alright, let's continue the challenge. Let's see his attack. Let's see his attack animations. We already did see his burst. It just basically gives him normal attack, so it's not really nothing that special. Alright, let's see his normal attack. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he only does 4. As you see there. Bam. Pretty easy. Alright, E. He just backdashes. Pretty cool. Let's do his charge. So yeah, if you do his E, you basically get his normals, which is pretty cool. Alright. Yeah, let's do E again. Yeah, look at how slow that charges, by the way. That is really slow. I'm pretty sure you have to do his passive talent to even get a fast level 2 charge. But yeah, that is really, really slow. No way you're pulling that off. Alright, let's go to characters. And let's see Sethos' kit. So as you see here, he has high EM. That's because he scales off of EM. Crit damage, ER. Okay, that is Hoyo versus build. Weapon, Sion of the Blazing Sun. This is a weapon you can get. I think this is a summonable weapon. Yeah, this is a summonable weapon. By the way, this is not his best bow. Surprisingly, yeah. His best bow is a bow that we're gonna be getting later on, as an event item. Yeah, which is an event bow that gives him EM. Yeah, the bow has EM as a main stat. So definitely that is his best bow because he does scale off of EM. And you also get it free on R5. And also, its mechanics are basically tailored for Sethos. So yeah, keep that in mind that this isn't his best bow. His best bow is literally a free-to-play bow. Yeah. As for artifact set, Wanderer's Troop. I think this is probably his best budget set because Wanderers is so common. You can just run Gilded Dreams. yeah, you can run Gilded Dreams, by the way. That is a good artifact set you can run, especially if you are going to be running Sethos on a Dendro-only team, which I'm probably sure, I'm pretty sure that you have to run Sethos on a Dendro team because he has a lot of EM, and Dendro reactions scale off of EM, which is pretty good. So yeah, so definitely his best set is Gilded Dreams. As for constellations, well, we can't just take a look at them now before we get to his talents, but before that, we have to look at his talents. So yeah. Well, anyways, his thing, okay, so he does 3 consecutive shots. He does 4 attacks, but it's 3 normals, it looks like. He does a level 2 charge. I'm pretty sure that is his main mechanic. I'm pretty sure one of his passives literally lets him charge a level 2 charge. His E does AoE electro damage, and if he does a electro reaction, he basically does he gets energy back, which is pretty cool as well, meaning that you can get your burst faster. And his burst just basically gives him normal attack that scales off of EM. So yeah, so basically all your normal attacks become a charge attack, which is pretty cool. Think of it like Yelan C6. So yeah. And well, we can look at his passive talents too. So this basically decreases the aiming time on your level 1 and level 2 charge attacks, which is pretty cool. The only problem is that you have to consume energy to even do that in the first place. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are going to be using level 2 charge on Sethos. As for the second passive talent, you basically get Scorching Sandshade, and it increases the damage you deal with your level 2 charge attacks by 700% of his elemental mastery. Remember when I said that you have to give him as much elemental mastery as possible? This is why. This passive talent is the reason why you should give him a lot of elemental mastery. But you will lose his effect if, after 5 seconds after a shadow piercing shot first hits an opponent. So basically when you hit your opponent, you could probably only fire like 4 more consecutive shots, which is pretty sad. Or after 4 shadow piercing shots strike an opponent. So yeah, it's pretty sad. But you get a lot of damage, at least 700% of elemental mastery. The only problem is it has a 15-second cooldown, but it doesn't really matter because you could just swap them out. You can have your other characters do damage and you could swap them in and then just do level 2 charge attacks. By the way, this counts on shadow piercing shots because his Q basically does electro damage. It counts as charge attack damage, but I'm pretty sure it is a separate mechanic though, shadow piercing shot level 2. So yeah, so you have to specifically do level 2 charge shots in order to do this mechanic. So basically after you do your normal attacks, you want to get this up, do your 4 shadow piercing shots, and then switch out. So yeah, that's probably going to be your max amount of damage output with Sethos. So yeah, but anyways, let's look at his talents. Probably this will boost him up even further than before. So let's see here. So C1 looks really basic. It increases the crit rate of shadow piercing shot, which is his level 2 charge attack. Okay, that's pretty simple, but it works, I guess. Her constellation number 2. When any of the following conditions are met, Sethos gains a 15% electro damage bonus for 10 seconds that may stack twice with each stack duration counted independently. So basically you get a total of 30% electro damage if you get 2 of these to basically work. Alright, so let's see the conditions. Consuming elemental energy through aim shots, you must first unlock the passive talent Black Kite's Enigma to trigger this condition. So basically it's just this. You need to trigger that. Regaining elemental energy by triggering elemental reactions using Ancient Rite the Thundering Sands. I think that is Ancient Rite the Thundering Sands. I think that's his passive talent. Is it? The Thundering Sands. Unless it's just a Constellation exclusive thing. Oh no, it's his E. Okay, yeah. Ancient Rite the Thundering Sands, that's his E. Alright. Using Secret Ray Twilight Shadow Piercer, that is his Q. Yeah, so basically, it basically upgrades his thing. So basically you want to use his E and do an elemental reaction to get a 50% electro damage bonus, or use his Q and get a 15% electro damage bonus. So basically use his Q and E and you get 30% electro damage bonus. That's pretty nice. Yeah, that's a pretty good passive talent. or that's a pretty good constellation. Pretty good. All right, his C3 increases his normal attack by 3 levels, which is pretty good because he does do level 2 charge attacks, which is pretty nice. So yeah. Alright. When a shadow piercing shot or dust bolt strikes 2 or more opponents, all nearby members get 80 elemental mastery for 10 seconds. So this just basically gives your party a flat 80 elemental mastery bonus. Pretty good on Dendro teams. I'm pretty sure for Sethos you have to run him on a Dendro team to get a maximum effect on his kit. So yeah. That is more reason why you should get him C6. So yeah. Increases the level of Secret Rite Twilight Shadow Piercer. That is his burst, which is pretty nice. And the C6. Alright. After Shadow Piercing shot strikes an opponent, so that is his level 2 charge, the elemental energy consumed by the passive talent Black Kite's Enigma will be returned. So basically you don't lose energy when you do it, which is pretty nice. This effect can be triggered up to once every 15 seconds. You must first unlock the passive talent Black Kite's Enigma. So, this is kind of weird because you just get 1 free shot. So yeah, pretty nice, I guess. You can basically just do probably like, instead of like 4 attacks, you can do 5 attacks instead. Pretty okay, I guess. Not really as good as his C2, which basically gives him a flat 30% electro damage bonus. But it's still nice. Nonetheless, you get a level 2 charge for free. So yeah. That's basically it. And that's Sethos. And that is the end of the video right there. So we took a look at Clorinde and Sethos. And time to give my final thoughts on the 2 of them. So I'm going to be going to the playtest screen again. And I'll just give my opinions on the characters right here. Alright, let's go to the test run screen. Let's grab the rewards right here. Alright, so Clorinde, on first impressions and first thoughts, she is pretty good, honestly. Not gonna lie. Run her on a Overload or Dendro team and you're probably going to see results. As for her ranking, I would say she's probably Raiden tier or around Raiden tier. At worst, probably Ayaka tier. So she could be either in the high end, which is the Raiden tier, or she could be on the low end, which is the Ayaka tier of normal attackers. I would say Clorinde is probably where Raiden is. She still looks pretty good. She attacks really fast. She does a lot of application. She supports party members. She looks pretty good, as long as you build her correctly, of course. As for Sethos, he is good on a Dendro team. If you try to run him on any other team, it'll probably end up really bad. Specifically if you want to run him on like an Overload team, because the EM doesn't get you that many favors. You can get a bunch of Overload damage, but EM is specifically made for Dendro teams. So if you want to get Sethos and want to use him at his maximum potential, you have to run him on a Dendro team. On a Dendro team, he looks pretty good, honestly. You could do level 2 charges. His burst literally gives him normal attacks, which are pretty nice. He supports party members if you have him at high constellation with flat EM, 80 EM for all party members, which is pretty nice. So yeah. Sethos, now that I look at him more, he's probably not Gaming tier. He's probably like around like maybe like a decent normal attacker, like probably I guess Yanfei, probably like Yanfei tier, or maybe Fremine, or Eula, probably like around Eula's level. I would say he's probably like around Eula's level. I would say Sethos. As for him on a Dendro team, he could probably be bumped up a little bit higher, probably like Diluc tier, maybe Diluc tier. For Sethos. I am probably underballing it. He could, for all I know, be good as Gaming. But I have to test him out more to see what his deal is. But yeah, that's basically my opinion on Sethos. He is pretty decent, honestly. Especially if you run him on a Dendro team. And as for Clorinde, she looks pretty good. Really good normal attacker. So yeah. well, anyways, that is basically it for the test run videos. So yeah, I expect one for Siege Queen, by the way. So yeah. Well, anyways, if you guys like this test run video, and if you guys like the new format, be sure to leave a like down below, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new to basically support me. And if you do subscribe, make sure to turn on notification bell to not miss out on a single upload I do. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. Leaving a like and subscribing helps the channel a lot. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So thank you guys so much for all the support, every single one of you. And, well, comment down below. What do you think of Clorinde? What do you think of Sethos? You think they're both good? You think they're both bad? What are your opinions on my tier listing? What are your opinions on where I place these characters? Let me know in the comments down below. And, well, you can also comment down below, where would you place Clorinde and Sethos on a tier list? I would love to engage in a discussion with you guys. These two characters are pretty new. So, yeah. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching this Genshin test run video. And I'll see you guys in the next Genshin video.